I am going to start to share the link so everybody else can join us, and then we're going to get started. We have quite a bit of things to talk about today. But before I start that off, is it just me, or is it like a very high type of day? Like, I feel like I am high, but I didn't smoke a thing. I didn't consume any type of edibles or any, like, none of the sort. But I feel very much like my head is just like very like in the air. Like, I feel very, very, very floaty right now. It's the best way that I guess I can describe it. Um, I just gotta post the link on the Patreon, and then let me get the Instagram live going, and then yeah, we're just gonna get started. We have a lot of things to talk about. Mercury is in retrograde. Everything in its mama is in Aquarius. So there's definitely a lot of different energies. I feel like more than anything, this is a very productive time to do a lot of work. I just also posted my whatchamacallit. I just posted the new podcast. So that is up on Between Ascension. So anywhere that you get your podcast. So like Spotify or like I don't know what the other podcast, oh, even like Apple Podcasts and stuff like that, you can go check it out there. But I just released it, and it's on time traveling. And it's kind of like a intro, intro to time traveling. Spiritually, it was a very really a cool podcast to do, because I feel like it was very, it had a lot of information. But I think honestly it's something that I wanted to share with y'all, because I think that everybody should have access and know how to work with it. Hey Steph, hi everybody. Hi, I thank you guys for joining. I'm really excited to get to talk to y'all. The moon is in Libra right now. Everything is like in air, so there is a lot of air energy, and a lot of just, it definitely feels very, very airy. Where I would normally feel grounded, I feel very much very airy, very up in the air, up in the cosmos in many ways. Okay, so let me just pull up the chart as well, because we got a lot of things to talk about. So this week, just so I can kind of get some of the announcements out of the way, I'm gonna just like say it now. This week we're gonna have our community oracle poll on Wednesday, so definitely stay tuned for that. I will be posting the reminder on the community tab, and for those who are on Instagram, I will be posting that on the IG stories and stuff like that, so you guys can come through and get some messages and some downloads from the community tab. And definitely make sure that if you are not a member, you want to join and become a member, the join button will be down below as well with that information. Also, the tickets to the workshop, that one is almost sold out, so I just want to make sure that everybody who wants to come to the workshop can make it. It's also posted in the community tab, so make sure that you get your tickets if you want to be there, because there are limited tickets, and once it sells out, it sells out. So yeah, so that one's almost sold out. It's like literally really almost sold out. And all of the posts, so the weekly video poll, all of that will be posted for the Patreon and the channel members, so that way they can vote on the topics for this week. But we're gonna have a lot of stuff getting posted this week. I'm gonna be posting one of my kind of a new series that I wanted to start on the channel that I'm really excited about. I'm gonna share with you guys soon. I'm working on editing that video right now, and then once it's posted, you guys will see it. But it's gonna be a really fun series, I feel like, especially, and this is a great year to start it too, because you know Jupiter and Venus is just hitting my, it's just they're in this beautiful conjunction for me for this year. So I want to make sure that I help you guys with that specific working with that energy as well. So there's going to be more details on that very, very soon. Yeah, lots of stuff. I'm still sending out readings and stuff. So if you booked a reading with me, your reading will be sent soon. For those who like booked like a tarot reading and stuff like that, those are getting uploaded. For astrology readings, because I've been doing so many readings, they're a little bit backed up, but I am sending out links as well. So make sure you just keep an eye out for your emails, you get your notifications. And I'm still shipping out orders, but I couldn't go and ship it today and probably tomorrow because there's a snowstorm right now. So give it an extra probably like 2 days before they start going out. I think those are all the updates that I have for y'all. So definitely let's get started. So first and foremost, let's just get down to the nitty-gritty of this Mercury retrograde, because I do feel like it's going to be a very powerful Mercury retrograde is what I'm personally gonna want to call it. I feel like, especially because right now Mercury's retrograding in Aquarius, we have Aquarius stellium up to the wazoo. So the sun is in Aquarius, Mercury's in Aquarius, Venus is in Aquarius, Jupiter's in Aquarius, Saturn is in Aquarius, like yo mama is in Aquarius, like there's just a lot of stuff in Aquarius right now. And so we do have a lot of that Aquarian energy at play. But because we do have this Mercury in Aquarius in retrograde, even though all of the other Aquarian energy will be very much progressive because it's not necessarily going into retrograde yet with the other planets, but with Mercury being like right off the bat, like saying, okay, let's focus on the minds, as I have been mentioning, if you did listen to the podcast for today, by the way, the podcast is called Between Ascensions, so make sure you check it out. We're talking a lot about the crown chakra, which is ruled by Aquarian energy, okay? And so when it comes to Mercury, which is the planet of communication, consciousness, in the moment consciousness, what you're aware of right now, what is being communicated to you, the messages that you're receiving in the moment, it's all about that connection, that receiving like message, all of that. That's consciousness, when you are what you are currently conscious about and what you're constantly being aware about as well. That's that Mercury energy. Aquarian energy ruling the higher conscious minds, okay, because Uranus very much rules the higher conscious mind. This is why Uranus energy is always a little bit chaotic, because Uranus always wants you to integrate and download new information, to upgrade, change your mindset, change your information, like bring it back down to you, like really bring it back, like really bring it back down and upgrade, change, shift what you need to change and shift. Because of that specifically, this Mercury retrograde is going to be a little bit different, because what's going to happen is, because it touches on that crown chakra, it's all about clearing up the fog with Mercury being in retrograde. Also, because it's in an air sign, you're going to obviously have the air signs feeling it a little bit more than others. And if you have a critical points in air or very dominant points in air, you are also going to be feeling this very heavily upon your soul. But when Mercury's retrograding in Aquarius, it's letting you know that your upgrade is going to happen by looking backwards. Like you have unfinished business. It's almost like, think about it like this. You know how on your iPhone, when you're downloading a bunch of apps or whatever, let's say you just got a brand new phone, you're downloading all your apps. There are some that you know you need all these apps, whatever. There are some that you know you need right away, so you're addressing those right away. So let's say you just got out of the T-Mobile or AT&T, you need to take a cab to your next destination. You're gonna want to download that Uber app first. So you're gonna pause all the other apps, and you're just gonna be like, well, I have to get here. So that's what I'm prioritizing. So I am going to focus on this specific app, and I want that to go. That's going to be the app that I need to use right now. So you download that app, you're using the app, whatever, but you still left the other apps paused. You're still going to need to use those apps at some point. However, you left them on pause. So now you have to go back and recheck, okay, wait, is my phone actively working? Am I able to just pick up my phone and use every single app that I need to use within that moment. Like, let's say I just pause and, oh my God, look, I need to download Twitter because I need to talk to a friend that I only have them on Twitter. Or like the news broke and you just need to see the thing on Twitter, or whatever it is the case may be. You're gonna need to have that in the moment, that consciousness within that conscious space. You're gonna need to have all your tools readily available, not some of them being on pause, not some of them being like taking a back turn and just you not using them, because at some point you're going to need to use it. You need to use it right away. Like, it's almost like, if you remember how back in the day with the whole AOL and how it used to take forever to load the internet and all that stuff, we have upgraded technology and the internet to the point that now when we click on an app, it needs to be open within the first 3 seconds minimum. Okay. Hey Nat, how are you? And so when we have this when we have this conscious awareness that when we're using our tools, when we're using our like even our phones and stuff like that, and we're clicking on something, we're thinking, okay, well, this app shouldn't take longer than, maybe 5 seconds to open. If anything longer than that, it's probably lagging. There's something wrong with the connection, the internet, whatever. So there is this kind of like needing to have all forms of consciousness be leveled. And right now with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, there are some parts of consciousness that are not going to be necessarily fully capable of use. And that's going to be the things that you're going to have to refocus on and go back, refresh, heal, and then look at all your tools. Look at what's missing. Look at what is not available for you to use. Look at all of those things and then start addressing them consciously within the moment. It's all about that consciousness when it comes to this Mercury in Aquarius. It's definitely a very powerful Mercury retrograde to, if you have had struggles meditating, this is a great Mercury retrograde to not only be more consistent with your meditations, but also have a lot of powerful downloads, especially when it comes from the past, whether it be past lives, whether it be like your past when you were a childhood, whether it be like your ancestral DNA, all of this kind of stuff. Great time to do all of that type of work, because Aquarian energy is going to want to analyze, is going to want to look a little bit deeper, look at all of what caused it and how it affected, how it impacted. And that Mercury energy is going to keep you within consciousness. So it's a very important time to do a lot of self-work. This is a reason why Aquarius is like the water bearer, okay? Because they're carrying this water jug, right? And then they're pouring it into the stream, this kind of pool of water. That is reflective of who you are and what you're giving and sharing with society. Because do not forget that even though, yes, Aquarius rules the crown chakra, and that is a very individualistic trait, and Aquariuses are very individualistic, at the same time, the duality in who they are and what they ultimately represent is how they reflect that, how they pour that into society, what they're bringing into society, how their individuality pours into society, how that brings different things, how that upgrades society, and how that shifts everybody from what traditionally was seen with the Capricorn energy to what needs to like occur, what needs to come into fruition, what needs to be expressed, what society needs from you. So you know how we all have like soul purposes, and like some people's soul purpose is very, very particularly defined for one thing, and then some people are meant to affect a lot of people, and that's where you have like your politicians, your artists, your your singers, like these people who have huge followings. They carry that Aquarian energy of they're carrying this jug and they're pouring the water into society, into the consciousness, into the pool of consciousness, and they're sharing themselves with us to some capacity. They're sharing some of that water with the rest of us. So it is very important for you to understand that the work that you do during Aquarius season for the remainder of the year up until Saturn is out of Aquarius and into Pisces, you're going to have to really analyze and upgrade yourself and really answer the question, what is it that who is it that you are, and what does that bring to everybody else? Who are you in the party? Like, if we're all having a party, who are you? What are you doing? What are you bringing to the collective? Why is that important? Why is that purposeful? Okay, purpose matters with that, because that relationship with your higher self, with the crown chakra, that's the important part, because you need to have that purpose. You need to connect that purpose to your actions, to what you're doing, to that solar plexus. That's how you create movement and friction and traction into your life. So it's a very, very powerful time to sort out a lot of nitty-gritty stuff that you might have been like a little bit like maybe all over the place, or feeling like, oh my God, I kind of want to focus on this, but I also want to focus on that. But like, especially when you get so many downloads, and I know my Geminis feel this way because we get a lot of downloads out here. But when you get all of these different types of downloads and information into your consciousness, and you're just like, wait, I feel almost a little bit overwhelmed. It's all about dissecting the information. It's all about sitting down with yourself, holding space for yourself, understanding why you're receiving the message. Why did you need to know that? What actions can't you take in regards of that? Like, really, really sitting down with yourself and saying, okay, how am I pouring water into this pool of consciousness from these downloads? What can I contribute? What can I do? What moves? How do I shake it up? How do I make my next move count? Okay, on a collective level, like, how do we change that up? It's a really important time to get down to those questions, because listen, with all of the Aquarian energy right now, also when it comes to February as a whole, because you guys know February, there is like a national world holiday, which is, Valentine's Day. And this week, okay, today we start off the moon with Libra, and this is why we're going to be using the tarot sexual magic for this week's forecast. But this week starts off with Libra energy, okay? And we're already very air-like, right? But we're having all of this Libra-esque energy. And at some point in February, the question, the feeling, the emotion, what society is doing, what it has collectively decided is a thing, which is Valentine's Day, does creep into the minds of everyone. Because just like we were just talking about the water bearing, what you're giving into society, the question is also, what does society give to you? It kind of, it takes two to tango, and in many ways, when society chooses to focus on this energy of love and relationships and partnerships in this way, a lot of people feel left out. A lot of people feel like, you know what, I do my taxes, I pay bills, I do all this stuff, but for some reason I haven't gotten this right. I haven't been able to feel satisfied in this area of my life, and it creates some chaos for some people. And so we are going to be focusing on relationships, and this is why the workshop that we're doing for this month focuses on relationships and decoding your relationship energy. So looking at the past, looking at what's going on, what's lying underneath, and really targeting that open door to progression when it comes to relationships and love. Because I do feel like a lot of the time we allow ourselves to get into really toxic relationships with the idea of love, whether that be love for money or love for relationships and people. And so now it's also the time for us to dissect those relationships, dissect our relationships to relationships, okay? Dissect our relationship to love in all of its forms, because I do feel like it's important for us to be more focused and centered and grounded with our own love energy. And it definitely, I feel like if you disregard it, or you kind of forget about it, or you're just, I mean, granted, there's some people in their natal chart, they're not even meant to be with other people in this lifetime, so they can very much have a different type of purpose, so that's understood. But we are gonna have to dive into some relationships stuff this month. So I hope y'all is ready. But it's not for nothing why Valentine's Day falls under Aquarius, just like how Christmas falls under Capricorn, and some holidays fall under specific signs. That's not you know, it's not for nothing. Like, you would think that, you know, Valentine's Day would fall under like a Libra or like a Taurus season or even a Leo season, but Aquarius is very much the opposite, like opposing Leo energy. It's very much the sister sign to Leo, but it is very much a reflection of Leo as well, because Leo focuses on the individualistic of who they are in society, versus Aquarian energy being the collective within society, the representation of the collective, who you are versus the collective, and also the collective versus you, and how you balance those two things out. And so while a lot of people see Aquarian energy and Aquarius as very detached, very reserved, very, you know, weird, eclectic, you know, all over the place, at the same time, Aquarius is love in a very different way, very futuristic way, very particular way. And I think we highlight love in all of its weirdest forms. And I say we because my Venus is an Aquarius. But I think that we highlight love in all of the different forms it can take, not just one. I feel like if the Valentine's Day kind of energy would have fallen on any other sign, the energy would have been more like love has to look like this, versus a love celebratory, you know, day falling in Aquarius feels like love can look like anything, which falls into more people. It falls into more groups of people. It falls into people that don't agree with it, and at the same time people that do, in the way that different couples love each other. And while some might think, you know, okay, that's weird that you guys do that, some people are like, oh my god, that's so cute. You know, all the weirdness that goes on within relationships, who we are, what we do, how we share our love, all of that is very Aquarian, because it's all weird, all over the place, all within our collective love consciousness as well. So it is a really powerful time to dive in within ourselves, do a lot of soul work, get down to the nitty-gritty of a lot of things. This is a very, very mindful, aware season. Okay, very mindfully aware season. It is one of those seasons that if you kind of, you know, try to just let it go by and just kind of detach from it, you can, probably, because Aquarian energy rules the energy of detachment as well. But if you don't try to work with the season, it can kind of feel like a missed opportunity. It's one of those seasons where it's like, this is the month that I really, or this, honestly, this is a year. This is a year where I really need to get my sense of self, who I am, to the core together. This is the year. This is the year that I need to do that. So it's a really, really powerful time with everything that's going on in the chart. Really, really great time to do a lot of work, a lot of that self work. Breaking down all of those type of mental barriers within ourselves that we say, oh, I can never change, I can never stop, like all of these kind of things. Breaking all that down. Also, the expectations that we have set upon other people, breaking that down, all of that. It's just a really, really, really great time to do so. Now, we're gonna get into the cards, because I do want to look at what's going on collectively for this week. So, what is going on collectively for this week? What do we need to know? Hold on. Okay. You see, I kind of caught this vibe really, really early, because the first card, like when I was picking the cards for today, I was like, why am I getting such a very high priestess like energy? And I was feeling very offset today, like very, very offset. So I actually grabbed her oracle cards, and the first card that came out was a high priestess. I am not surprised that this just kind of like threw itself out here. I'm not surprised, because I was feeling that energy like literally right before the live. Okay. And one more card. Okay. Spirit said 3 more cards, so we're just gonna take it. Okay. So, bottom of the deck. By the way, the Tarot of Sexual Magic is a very sexual deck. I'm just warning y'all. Just warning y'all. Okay, so bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Chariot, which I'm not surprised about at all to be seeing on here. But let's talk about what's going on. Okay, so this week, first and foremost, we have the High Priestess and the Seven of Pentacles. High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords. We have, oh, hold on. The Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. And then we have the Knight of Wands and the Sun. I feel like that Leo energy is just like bursting through. Bursting through right at the end. Okay. So, first and foremost, this week definitely starts us off feeling a little bit more, what is the word that I'm looking for? I feel like this week starts us off being very reflective, and I feel like taking and reevaluating some choices that we have kind of like, I think more of intentions that we have set for ourselves in the past, and kind of we've kind of been waiting for certain things to come into fruition, right? And the way that is looking like is like, okay, we set some intentions. We told Spirit, we communicated, we're like, hey, this is what I need. I'm setting intention for this. Please, Spirit, help me with this. Help me figure this out. Help me bring this into my life. Help me manifest this. I would like to have this in my life. I would like to integrate this into my life. This week feels like some of you guys are giving up or moving on from some intentions that you have set for yourself that have not come into fruition. And you are kind of taking the executive order of saying, you know what, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna cut my losses with the intention that I set. And I think the reason why you're in that mindset of, as far as like, you know what, let me just see where I'm at, reevaluate the energy. Okay, reevaluate the energy and see where I'm at, because it doesn't seem like I think I'm not gonna get this. And I feel like there's a clarity in that. Like, you're gonna be aware of why you're not getting whatever it is that you said that you wanted to do or wanted to get or wanted to manifest. And you're gonna have to come to terms with that and be like, you know what, I kind of asked for this and it's been a while, and for some reason I can't get this to come into fruition. I can't get this to manifest. So then the question becomes, what is it that you do need to focus on right now? Okay, so instead of completely throwing away the intention, there's just kind of a, you know what, let me just focus on something else. Some of y'all will be giving up on some of these intentions, or be like, oh my God, you see, this is why this is why I don't do this, because it just didn't happen, and I couldn't bring it in, whatever. Like, some of you will be on that level, and some of you will just kind of move on and forget that you even set the intention in the first place. And where it's going, it's really interesting, because I do feel like there are things coming into fruition, and there are things manifesting and coming in, and especially with this Ace of Pentacles, there are things being birthed into the physical realm for all of us on a collective level. There are things coming in. However, it's taking more work than you think that it needed to in the first place. That's kind of the problem itself. You might think that it's easy for it to come in, and you know what, it should be like 1, 2, 3 and you got it in your door, but it's actually taking a lot more work for it to come in, and you have to be a little bit more patient with the way that it comes in, because it is taking a lot of work. But when it does come in, you will visibly be able to see it, and it will be something that is more grounded than you thought at first, not something that is like flighty or meant to be like a one-time thing or anything like that. Like this is something that you set intention for, that's meant to be have a long-lasting effect. And so because physical realm manifestations, when you're trying to ground yourself in a specific intention, and that's the intention that you set and went with, it definitely has a more solidifying feeling and effect, but it also takes a minute for it to grow. Think about a plant, okay? I want you to really sit down and think about how a plant grows. Like, you take a seed, you put it in oil, you water it. You do not expect the next day for the whole thing to be a full-blown plant, like fully grown, fully high at the, you do not, nobody expects that. So why are you doing it to your intentions this week, specifically at the beginning of this week? Because I do feel like the beginning of this week there is just like this like weird analyzation that's happening. And I know that the chart is there for us to self-analyze, but why are you analyzing the way that you're analyzing is the question. Like there needs to be like a inner and collective communication within yourself, looking at and reflecting what it is that you're doing back to yourself, like holding yourself accountable when you're doing this, because there is kind of a little bit of a sense of wasting your time with this. For those people who are just going to be like, you know what, I set intention for it, I'm just going to let it happen and come through the way it's going to happen, cool, that's fine, do you, that sounds perfectly fine. But for those who are going to be like, but you know what, like I really like would love for it to come this way, but for some reason, like, you know what, I asked to move, and I told spirit I really wanted to move into the bigger room in the apartment that I'm living into, that specific room, but for some reason, like, it hasn't, that room, nobody has left that room. But like, you know what, I don't know, maybe I should just start looking at other places. Maybe there's another place out there for me with the room size that I need, with the space, with the view, with everything that I need in that space. It's all about thinking about it with perspective, not thinking about it and saying, well, that I set the intention for that specific thing, that is what I wanted, and then when you don't get it, you're like, wait, but I specifically set intention for this, so why am I getting put on the direction for that instead? And again, there's this need to have an awareness of grounding. Okay, if you try to plant a seed where another plant already has root and is growing, it's just not going to grow properly, and you're just going to cause chaos. And you also have to understand, like, even for that apartment, what if the person that already lived there, even though you want their apartment or whatever, or want their house or whatever, is very much deeply grounded in that place, and they're fine, they're financially fine, they're fine staying there, it is their intention for them to stay there. Why do you think that you will be able to move them when that might not be meant for you, because it's meant for them as well? So again, when it's Aquarian energy, it's not just about you, it's about the collective and what you're bringing into the collective. So you having the mindset of, I'm going to shift this and I want that specifically, doesn't really work when you specifically need to have that specific reality, but not in the way that you necessarily asked for it in the first place. So this week calls for really coming to terms with our intentions, with our purpose, with our drive, with the things that we want for ourselves, but also allowing flexibility for the way the things manifest and the way that they come in, because it's not just about, like, you know, being all over the place or being like, oh no, but I'm like being stubborn and be like, I wanted it this way. That's not productive. That's not going to bring you or alleviate the energy to any capacity. It's just going to feel annoying when you're like, when the thing is trying to manifest and you're just like, but that's not what I wanted. You haven't even let it develop, and you're kind of shitting on it. That's like the way that it feels this week. There's just kind of like this, you know, something's been putting it, like your ancestors, everyone's spirit has been putting in the work to bring this to fruition for you, but in the best way that will benefit you. And there's just this energy of like, I guess like there's just that energy for this week. And I do feel like towards the end of the week we start seeing the light a little bit of how everything had to happen the way it had to happen, why that was important the way it had to happen, why it needed to happen the way it needed to happen. Like everything comes into kind of like this light. Like things that were hidden are by the end of the week are now very much revealed, are now very much, you know, like more open, more visually like understood. Like you have a little bit more understanding and clarity as to why things needed to go down the way they needed to go down, and what purpose that has, not only for you but for your next moves. And that's really the way spirit is kind of stating it here. It's all about your next move, that solar plexus energy, how you're moving into that intention, integrating that intention that you have set for yourself, that reality that you have built for yourself into your current life, how you're bringing that and merging with it, not just fighting against it or being like but actually like saying, okay, I'm not going to struggle, I'm not going to have the struggle mentality anymore. I'm going to take it easy, because I feel like I've been fighting this for so long, and it just makes no sense for me to continue to fight something that's not meant for me. You know what I mean? What's meant for you, you will know, because you will feel it in everything. Like it will be very crystallized, very crystal clear as to what is in alignment and what is in a misalignment with you and your energy. And this, by the end of the week, I do feel like there's a lot more clarity, where in the middle of the week and, you know, the beginning of the week, there's just like this, there's this airiness, like this, I guess, okay, well, guess I'll just focus on this. Like there's just kind of like this almost disappointment kind of vibe to it. But it's a really powerful time to kind of dive in and also work with our third eye, okay, to get some of that work done, to get some of that cloudiness that, you know, like, oh, I guess I have to do this, to, oh no, I actually have to do this. This is actually what I'm in alignment with. Okay, cool, bet. Like just working with that and allowing that to be the truth and the reality, like not making it worse for yourself when you don't need to. What is the energy for the collective for this week? What's the energy for the collective for this week? Oh, that flew. Hold on, y'all. So the first one is burden and heavy load, and the other one fell, so I'm gonna have to go get it. Y'all gonna have to give me a second. Wait, I don't think I can reach it. Babe, can you pass me that? Babe always has to like pass me everything. Sorry, I can't reach it with my feet. Thank you. Okay. Oh God, Jesus. Okay, so we have burden and heavy load and jealousy and grudge. Damn, y'all, what's going on this week? I mean, am I surprised? The moon is also going to be in Scorpio this week, so I guess there could be some of this, and that could explain why the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles are in here, being all cute and dandy. So what exactly... and this is going to be like one of the energies of the month, especially with this whole Valentine's Day thing. What exactly is it that you have to be jealous of right now? Like if you were to pick, what deck is this? This is the Flowers from the Dead Oracle deck. And then I'm using, oh, that fell. And then I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic, Tarot for this reading. This week has this really kind of it has this very, very reflective energy within our energy and what we're actually holding on to. And this is really where that 10 of Wands is coming on. What is it that you have, like, what is it that you're holding on to in relation to other people too? Because again, don't forget, we're in Aquarius season. It's about others just as much as it is about ourselves. We are very much reflecting and bouncing back energies with each other. Why did I forgot to put my ring on, guys. Hold on. I just totally forgot. Okay. I haven't been wearing it today because I was cleaning and I don't want to wash my hands like a million times. Anyway, so what is it that you are actively, and whom and why are you jealous of, and why is that important? What is the energy of you holding any type of grudge or any resentment towards others right now. Like if you had to think about anyone that you are jealous of, or that you have like some sort of like like they peeve you, or they bring something out of you that is just not, you know, cute, and you know it, and you know it too, you know that they do that. um why has it become such a heavy load? That is a question. Oh, wait, somebody else asked me, what tarot cards are you using again? Sorry, I missed it. I am using the Tarot of Sexual Magic, and the box fell for this deck. This is the Flowers from the Dead Oracle deck. They have an IG page as well. So what is it that you are carrying from others, and why has it become such a heavy load? And I do feel like this week is gonna call for some people realizing that they have been almost creating a bigger energy of, you know, hate, or that grudge, that kind of jealousy. Like it's actually a bigger problem than what it is. Like for some people, you guys are going to be like, oh well, I wish I kind of had that. And it's like every time you would have thought or said anything about this person, it became a bigger virus. Like it was like this at first in the beginning, and now it's like this big, and you're just like, wait, oh wow, I actually resent this a lot. Like why? So there is a lot of that energy for this week, and it's causing it's bringing a lot more weight to your spirit, to your energy, that you need to. So we need to make sure that we're not only self-analyzing, but making sure that our energy is like cleansed and clear, because that's heavy. That's heavy. You do not want to be out here having any type of jealousy energy, or, you know, like evil eye energy, where you're actively sending out that energy, because then when you have to come to terms with the fact that you've been sending someone the evil eye for a while, that's kind of hard, because then you realize how much energy you've been pouring to that person versus pouring it into your dreams, into your intentions, into your garden, into what, you know, you are living, what your reality is, you know. And that's kind of hard, because you're like, wow, if you could have taken an ounce of that time or effort that you've been putting towards this specific thing and fueled it to this area, how different could your life would have been? You know what I mean? Like it changes, it shifts the thing. So this week, oof, I feel like when the moon goes into Scorpio, some of you guys are gonna need to go through that Phoenix phase when it comes to how you're relating to other people. And Scorpio moons always tend to be very revealing when they're there to others. So allow yourself to, you know, discover the truth and why, and accept it too. Don't be petty about it. Accept it, because I do feel like this week is a little like everywhere. What are some signs of someone giving you the evil eye? So this kind of depends, because a lot of people have different experiences with this than others. I feel like when it comes to the evil eye, if you are unprotected, you can actually see some results from the evil eye right away. Like you'll just start getting bad luck. You'll, you know, I don't know, trip more than you usually do. You'll, you know, kind of cause yourself to come under like some situations that you maybe like it was almost like you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like that will happen a little bit more commonly, but versus if you were already practiced protection, even if it's someone is sending you the evil eye, it's less likely to affect you, because you are consciously stating, I am protected by X, Y, C, and B, and nothing can touch me, and and the only thing that comes into this bubble, these lines that I have made and drawn in the sand, is X, Y, C, and B, and that's it. Okay, so it depends if you are protected versus if you are unprotected. If you are unprotected, you will kind of feel like you have the worst luck in the world. Like it'll just be the most random stuff happening to you, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, and on a spiritual level, when you're having dreams, you'll like have really bad nightmares all of the time. You'll have issues with your family. You'll have issues in all aspects of your physical reality, physical realm area. You'll have issues with your body. And that will cause other problems, because if you're already getting attacked in this way, you are personally going to react in a self-preservation type of mode. So you're going to do things to yourself to make yourself feel better, but that might be a little bit toxic, like overeating or eating too much sweets or something like that. You might do that just because certain things are happening to you, and then you're just adding to the negativity that they just sent to you, so it multiplies. So it's kind of a lot of things kind of happen when the evil eye is sent to you, and this is why it's important to have like, I feel like protection work and ancestor work, past life work are probably, to be quite honest, the most important work that you as a spiritual being should be doing with your practice. Because if you kind of just ignore the protection aspect and just go into the money, the dreams, or like, like the relationships, and that kind of aspect of spirituality and manifestation, you will eventually bump into those people that will send you the evil eye, and they will succeed because you are not protected. So it's really, really important to be protected, to hold space for yourself to be protected, and to ask spirit to be there with you and protect you. And the easiest way to do ancestor work, the easiest way to do protection work seamlessly would be working with Archangel Michael for that, by the way. Or Archangel Raphael if somebody's trying to attack your health, or if somebody's trying to attack your dreams, Archangel Gabriel, like just the archangels. Just working with archangels helps a lot for protection. What do we need to know collectively? What is the energy collectively for all of us? Okay, so let's see. The first one, you see guys? Transformation. I'm telling you, there's something about this, the moon being in Scorpio this week, that's going to be a little bit like triggering. There's something about it this week that's going to be a little bit triggering. This is why we're getting the transformation card, and that's their energy. Their energy as well is also this energy of like jealousy and holding grudges. Yeah, Scorpios do that too. Scorpios like are very, very particular in the way that they attack and use their stinger, because they're our scorpion first and foremost. So you have to understand that even if like you were forgiven by a Scorpio or anything like that, if they still hold an inch of resentment about it, at some point they're gonna get you back. And there is kind of this energy of like, ugh, I wish I could get this person back, or I wish I can like, or like, I just don't like them, like I wish they would trip or something, like that kind of energy. Like there's just this kind of scorpionic energy that honestly needs to be used productively, and this is why the transformation card is coming up. It needs to be used more productively than to hurt others, or to bring harm to others, because what's happening is that while the energy has been at play, the burden and the heavy load, it just has been building up. It's like you're more full of hate than you are full of love at this point when it comes to that specific person, topic, situation, thing. And so right now it's really, really, there's just like this need to evolve past it, move from it, and allow yourself to be great, allow yourself to be grand, allow yourself to succeed, allow yourself to be happy. And if that means you got to let go of some toxic mental habits, and whether that being your communication, your mental communication towards others when they don't know that you're doing it, because we obviously all have mental communication. When we were walking down the street, somebody walked next to us, we could just be judging them really bad or something like that. Even when those small moments, you could literally like be judging your neighbor really, really badly every time you see them, just because like you don't like their color of their shoes or something. All of that builds up. There's a buildup there. So make sure you're cleansing that energy for this week, because it can hinder you more than it can help you. The next one is message. Okay, and again, this goes hand in hand with this Mercury and Aquarius energy, and it's definitely 100%. We need to make sure that we're self-analyzing, understanding consciously what the message is, what we're doing, how these things are stopping our growth and allowing us to shift. Okay, how we are doing this, how are we taking in what we know? Like, it's spirit, if you're asking spirit, like, hey spirit, who who have I been holding grudges against? Who do I have any type of resentment towards? And they give you a name, okay? What are you gonna do with that? Like, are you just gonna be like, oh yeah, well, or are you gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to keep holding this anymore. This is not productive. This is not something that I need. This is not something that I want. I don't need this. I don't want this. This is not good. I just don't want this. Um, choosing to choose you within that moment and say, you know what, this is right and this is wrong. I've been doing this and this is wrong. Holding yourself accountable, being in the moment and saying, you know what, I I understand now why this has been an issue, why I have an issue with this, why this is not a good um thing that I am personally doing. So let me shift that. Let me level up from that. Let me allow myself to be different, to evolve. All of this is very much that Scorpio energy. And very much like that fixed sign energy, because I do feel like this has been happening for a while, and it's just now that you're just sitting down this week and saying, okay, you know what? I gotta reevaluate. I gotta reevaluate because this is not good. This is not helping me at all. So 100% make sure you're holding space for yourself this week because you're going to need it. Fixed sign energy, and I know Mars is still in Taurus. Fixed sign energy can be very, very stubborn, and it can cause a lot of chaos. Even though Aquarius is a fixed sign, and so is Scorpio. When it's used in its fixed nature, when it just tries to stay in one spot and without evolving, that's when you see a lot of issues and the problems and the things that people say, like, oh, nobody changes, everybody stays the same, all that stuff. That's some fixed energy type shit, where when people who believe that as well are very much fixed sign energy, in a fixed sign energy mentality, when they think that there's no evolution that can be had, even though you have two out of the four fixed signs that are very much all about evolution. Aquarius being very futuristic, Scorpio being all about transformation and change. And so even though you have the other two being all about the self, the ego, the pleasure of it all with Taurus and Leo, that doesn't mean that you have to give up your pleasure and your sense of self by transforming, by evolving. It just means that you're becoming a better version of yourselves. Some signs and some people are very comfortable staying the same, and others are constantly needing more. And when you're needing more, you have to sit down and say, okay, well, you know what? How have I been fucking up too? Like, I have to hold myself accountable. It's kind of like if you are both the student and the teacher in this case. Like, how would you grade yourself for the last semester, for the last 5 months? Like, how have you been doing? How have you treated other people? Like, would you say you have been the best that you can be? Would you say that you have put in the best work? Would you say that you have been putting your best foot forward? Like, can you say that with, a straight face? And if you can't, then you gotta self-evaluate. Okay, so let's look at the romance angels. What's going on with our romantic lives collectively? What is going on with our romantic life? Okay, the first one that came out was reconciliation, and I'm not surprised about this because Mercury's in retrograde, so we're still gonna have that energy of people, sliding into people's DMs, especially like and I feel like this has been happening since last year with the whole Rona thing. A lot of it is very digital now. You have a lot of people, a lot of exes just coming out of the blue, and just because a lot of people are bored, a lot of people regret a lot of things. I feel like the pandemic has put Mercury retrograde energy on blast in a way, because I feel like it took all of the physical presence that we could have had all collectively, and it made it like the only thing you could do was connect on a digital scale. And so if you wanted to, have any type of connections with other people, you had to do it digitally. You had to slide into somebody's DMs or something. So I do feel like there is this kind of more use of technology and trying to connect on a digital scale, because we can't necessarily all do it on a physical sense. So there are some people that are going to kind of do like a whoop whoop 360. There's also this, like, Venus being in Aquarius is a pretty big deal. Mars is still in Taurus, so you still have, those people who are very fixed in past relationships. So if you have, you felt very happy, or you felt, like you and this person were just really good and you just enjoyed and loved really well together. With Venus and Aquarius, it's all about, okay, but can we evolve and have a relationship and a partnership together in these times? Like, can we survive these times? Like, is this a thing? So there is this energy of reconciliation. So for those who actually are getting pulled into that direction, that is also there. For others, we have this wedding energy, and I do feel like 2021 is the year of weddings, y'all. Okay, ever since, I feel like, I want to say November of last year, I feel like so many people that I know have been getting like engaged and stuff, okay? And then it's just been on like a more massive scale than other people that like than other years. And I think first and foremost, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, Saturn switched from Cap to Aquarius, and so there is a new like Saturn's return happening. Hi my love. She's over here blowing kisses at me. And so whatchamacallit, I do feel like there is like this kind of switch between Saturn, you know, beating up those who were born, you know, under that Saturn and Capricorn. Well, not beating up, but really solidifying. And now Saturn moving into Aquarius for the next 2 to 3 years. It is, I feel like, shaking up a lot of where those who are in the 30s thought they were gonna be. Like, so I feel like some people didn't think that they were gonna be in the place that they were gonna be, and now they are. It's just kind of like, wait, what? Like, it's almost a little bit surprising. But there's so many people who are getting like engaged. I am including myself in this. First and foremost, I want to state this before, you know, before I kind of progress with this. I was technically engaged for like a whole entire year before Babe decided to be cute and surprise me on the edge in New York City and like propose to me like the what you would call the traditional way, which was really adorable. But we were already engaged before that, so we're still getting married this year. But it was just the process of actually getting engaged and doing the well, not actually, but like the traditional kind of way of doing it. I feel like it's been happening for so many people. There's just like this wedding energy that's been present, and I've just been peeping it with everyone. I don't know if you guys have been noticing this, but a lot of people are getting engaged right now, and a lot of people are also coming together with their partners who will end up being married to. Okay, so there is a lot, especially, and keep this in mind with this reconciliation card. I feel like a lot of people who are kind of going back to some people, there are some regrets that were had. There are some things that there's like unfinished business energy, and there's also this kind of like, I don't want to lose you again energy as well. So I'm just saying, there's this wedding energy. I don't want y'all to get annoying with 2021, talk about, oh my god, all of my friends getting married. I'm telling you, the energy is just there. Like, it just is. It just is. We're also getting the passion card. Okay, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Passion card. Diving back into the cards, when we're talking about this Knight of Wands and the Sun card. Okay, that's solar plexus energy. That's our passion. Okay, that's our willpower. That's the thing that drives us. That is our purpose. Okay, there's just like this new sense of direction this year, this week as well. There's just this burst of energy, and I do feel like we need to make sure we're in alignment with our solar plexus as well, because that is our guide, that is our core, that is what is making us make these type of moves, and also make us feel grounded within the moves that we're making as well. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, and I do feel like that's happening to a lot of people as well, because of the state of the world. Like, I don't know if y'all heard everything that's been going on with like the stock market and every single thing, and I, as an astrologer, I love looking at like all of these different connections, because it definitely is the time to kind of pretty much overthrow the system. If you have been noticing, it's only been like a month into 2021, and we've already had like 18 different type of revolutions happening, and it's going to continue on for the remainder of the year, including for the next couple of years after that, because Saturn will be in Aquarius. But because, again, I told you guys early on, Jupiter in Aquarius, holding hands with Saturn in Aquarius, makes everything speed up. So there's a lot of karmic justice that's been going on, including to the stock market, and with everything that happened with the whole hedge funds and stuff. That was all karma. All of that was karma. It just happened so fast. Like, they lost billions of dollars so fast with technology, with people coming together. Okay, everything, if you literally break down everything that happened, all of it falls into Aquarius energy. All of it. It came together in technology. Technology, which is ruled by Aquarius. People, society came together. This group of people said, you know what? They're betting against GameStop. We're gonna bet for it, and we're gonna make it go up. Collective consciousness agreed upon these things, and they said, okay, cool. This is what we're gonna this is where we're gonna direct and put our energy in. This is a really, really, really great time to get into stocks, by the way, if you've never gotten into stocks before, or if you're trying to do more streams of income, especially passive income, especially with stocks that have like dividends. And that means that basically those stocks, you own them, but they also pay you to own them as well. So they give you like a cut every quarter. You get like a check of something, of whatever the percentage is. Which is really cool, because even when I used to work, I worked for one of like the biggest technology companies in the world a couple years ago, and I would meet all of these like businessmen who always like would say that they lived off their dividends, a lot of them, because they just didn't want to sell their stocks, but their stocks pay them so well that they just kind of like would forget about it, but they had millions and millions and millions in these stocks. But they just kind of lived off their dividends. And I know that's something that it's really easy passive income, and a way for you to put and direct money and just watch it grow in the distance, and then collect your check when it comes through and each quarter. So it's really a good time to kind of get into that type of technology and see what the collective is doing, where the fuel is, because while, you know, you have the older generation, these kind of hedge fund mentality, thinking that they're just going to keep running the ship the way that they've been running it, you're going to have regular people who are going to be like, no, you know what? We're tired. And all of that falls into Aquarius energy. That's the revolution that happened in the stock market. And that's going to be happening with the economy. This is not just going to go away. It's going to keep pushing on. And I think it's really important for us to be very collectively present in the revolutions that are happening and being aware of them. From, you know, the beginning of the year with the whole, you know, insurrection at the Capitol, that's a revolution right there. Then you have this whole stock market stuff, that's another revolution right there. Everything that's happening and how the media is being used, and it's all the collective consciousness. There are so many different types of revolutions, so many different ways that we are pushing back and that we are creating these shifts, that if you don't, you know, get on the ship when you're on it, you are going to not only miss out in what society's doing, but you're going to feel very, very alone. So make sure you're paying attention, because finances and career are very much a factor right now. And a lot of people have decided, some people in the collective have decided that they're going to be wealthy, that they're going to have money, they're going to have funds, they're going to multiply things. If you look at a lot of the language that the hedge funds and stuff, that not the hedge funds, but the damn Reddit thing, the Wall Street bets, like all the language that everybody's been using, even on Twitter and stuff, like the millennials, the younger generations, when they're buying into these things, they're like, no, hold this ship. We're gonna send this stock to like over the moon. It's gonna fly over the moon. It's gonna go. This stock is gonna go so high, everybody's gonna get money from it. That is collective wealth and growth energy. So this is what I'm saying. You really definitely should be paying attention to the energy while you can, because it's one of those, like, you're either with or you're going to miss out on different types of opportunities. So look how you can grow your finances for this week. Moving on to 2021. Okay, so look at where Jupiter is falling in your chart. Where is Jupiter transiting for you? How is that benefiting you? How is Jupiter amplifying your luck, your money energy? You have to look at your Jupiter energy for the year, because it tells you this is where you're going to have your opportunity for the year. My Jupiter energy is in my seventh, and it will be moving into my eighth house. And it's really funny because I literally am in the process of paying off every single, no, not even paying off, completely removing all of my any debt that I have accrued from when I was, like, in school and stuff. Like, completely wiping everything out. Like, I'm literally in the process of doing that right now, which is really, really interesting, because Jupiter is, again, it goes into both houses. But my seventh house being my house of marriage, so I already knew I was going to get married this year. None of this stuff is a surprise to me. But that's how I know that's where my luck is going to be. So now I'm like, okay, well, now I know how I can use it, how I can make it be more seamless, how I can not work against it, how I can let it benefit my life in a positive way for this year, and just kind of let it rock and see where the rest of the energies, what else I'm supposed to be doing. But I do feel like for a lot of us, this is a time, please do not forget that we're in the age of Aquarius. It is a time for us to be successful, for us to thrive, for us to be the best that we can be, for us to be collectively wealthy, for us to be collectively grounded, for us to be collectively not have to worry about bills or other, like, the situation. None of that. It's time for us to be grounded. It's time for us to have a really solid foundation. The older generation, the past generation before us, is not going to be around for a really long time, guys. A lot of us are in the range, in the age that is like, by the time that we get into, like, even 5-10 years. And it's actually really, really funny, because we started off like January, the first person of January, so many people died, so many people passed already, and I'm just like, wow. Like, it's crazy. There's that transition, that death transition, that process of, okay, these people are now transiting out of this specific realm, going back into the spiritual realm, and whomever is still here is still moving through life, still growing, still thriving, still working with the world, still working with the energy of the world. All of that is very, very important. So don't kind of dismiss your window of opportunity. You need to live right now, not 10 years from now, not I need to save for 2 years for me to save to go do this. No, 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 no. You need to be more conscious about how to do things and be in the moment, and have that happiness be in the moment, not just like pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Like, once you get what you need, use it. Use what you have. It's really, really important to do so, especially right now. Because I feel like it's such a powerful time for us to collectively benefit from each other, and that's exactly what's been happening. It's a collective benefit, or a collective, it hinders the collective. Like the insurrection at the Capitol, that was the collective hindrance, even though it did help to expose the narrative in the way that we all knew it to be true, because we all knew that Trump was running a cult this whole time. So there is this kind of awareness of, like, okay, we're toying the line between calling someone a dictator to, oh wow, you would actually attack the Capitol. Like, that's actually, we can visibly see physical bodies going and doing something, versus like online, like trolls and all that kind of stuff. It's a physical action against something. It is a revolution in many ways. So there is ways that the energy will be used and misused this year. Don't misuse the energy. Do not fall into the trap of misusing the energy. So, Aset, what do we need to know for this week? How can we have a productive week where we are thriving? Okay. She said we're going to have 3 cards. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So the first one is Pillar of Light. It is actually a ritual if you actually look at the deck, at the booklet instructions. This is actually a ritual, but I'm going to read it to y'all. Pillar of Light, burning bright. Earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis descends. Your blessings and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Now, if you pay attention to the entire thing, it kind of breaks down a couple of different things that we've already talked about. Pillar of Light, burning bright.